Hey, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of the Force with Friends podcast. My name is Will with the Padawan Pops YouTube channel, and this is my friend Kevin,
Hello.
affectionately referred to as Some Guy. So
Yep.
if you're watching this stream on YouTube, you'll see Kevin's name as Some Guy. He doesn't have a YouTube channel yet, but
Nope.
we'll get there.
I figured it was appropriate since everybody knows who you are. They'll probably be going on to see Will's stuff and be like, "Who's this guy?"
I don't
Some
know about
guy.
that, but we have been talking about doing this for at least a year or two, if
Yeah,
not
it's been a
longer,
while. Yeah.
because our friendship started around going to church together and working in the same ministries of a church, and quickly evolved into the fact that we both love Star Wars. So most of our
Yep.
conversations probably that don't revolve around family and life revolve around Star Wars, if that is safe to say with you.
Yeah, probably more than it should, but yeah, I think that's always our default.
Yeah, priorities, right?
But yeah, we figured we talked about it all the time anyway, so
might as well let other
Might as
people
well.
listen into this this knowledge that we both have of Star Wars. So
Yeah.
the main goal of this podcast is for the next 8 weeks will be to discuss Ahsoka, because that's what's next, obviously. But moving from Ahsoka beyond, it will probably turn into a lot of the conversations we've had just over the past few years about Star Wars lore, what we've liked, not liked, rumors, whatever's happening in Star Wars. We'll discuss it, but I'm excited to see where both of our knowledges of the fandom melt into this one avenue of letting it out there. So I'm excited to see how it goes.
That'll be fun.
Yep. So this week, our topic, because we are currently 9 days away from Ahsoka, this is being recorded on August 14th. We thought that we would talk about what we want to see in Ahsoka and what we think we will see in Ahsoka. Kevin had suggested we do 2 of each to try to keep it down to a manageable time that anyone would actually want to listen to. So do you want to start with predictions or what we want to see?
Let's start with predictions. We'll do that.
Okay, so we're going in hot.
Yeah.
All right, so
Make ourselves look ridiculous.
okay,
Right off the bat.
I'm in. So 2 predictions for Ahsoka. I will say my first prediction will be for the ending of the season. It is going to be at least 2 seasons from everything we can tell. Disney designated it as season 1 of Ahsoka, as to where other shows, they don't necessarily always get that designation. So it appears that there's an idea to build on it. So for the ending of this season, I don't think it's going to be like a neat put a bow on it ending. I'm sure there will be some level of resolve for whatever the story was for this season, but I think we're probably going to be left more with a cliffhanger, maybe even like a darker ending with oh man, Thrawn is back. I don't think it's going to be just a pretty ending for our heroes.
Yeah, you actually kind of ran into one of my predictions.
Okay.
We're on the same page, I guess.
Let's talk it out.
Yeah, no, I look, all the trailers and stuff have been frustrating because I feel like it's hard to pinpoint where this show is going, because I feel like you can't tell when things are happening and what's going on, because there's stuff that might be in the past and some that's up to date. And so I don't know, it's hard to know just watching the trailers like what actually is going on and when things are happening and how it's going to wrap up.
Yeah,
there's been a whole lot of focus on not Thrawn, right? Like Balin and I don't remember the girl's name.
Shin's her name. I forget it all the time, and I remember.
Like really, the focus from all the trailers has been on them. We got one shot of Thrawn. So I agree though. Like I think because obviously Filoni's got this movie coming up, so I think he's got to establish some sort of big bad villain for it. So I think by the end of this show that like Thrawn will be pretty in control. I think he's gonna win out somehow at the end of this show.
Yeah, I feel like that almost has to happen for there to be a second season.
Yeah,
because what they're saying as far as the like where the big picture's going. So there's the big Mandoverse is what everyone's calling it, which will comprise the Mandalorian, Ahsoka, and then I believe they said Skeleton Crew will probably go into that same story. Some of the people that were at Celebration saw the trailer for that, and they got to see where where some of the villains from Mando 3 were in Skeleton Crew. So it's all going to weave together.
That's cool. Yeah.
So there's like the big Mando verse, and it's supposed to culminate in the New Republic beating Thrawn or whatever that ending looks like. We know Thrawn's gone before the sequel trilogy, so you assume he loses.
Yeah.
So if they're building up a movie to that, he can't lose here, theoretically.
No, I actually kind of hope that he. Did you ever read the original books that he was in, the Heir to the Force trilogy?
So I bought the trilogy 2 months ago with every intention of reading it, and with with working on college this summer because I got a little bit of scholarship. I took a summer class and did not read maybe 10 pages of it.
Fair.
So yeah. I missed it.
I mean, it's like, his depiction in those books is like, I mean, he's like totally in control. He pushes the New Republic to the brink. Like, he's a character who never really gets beaten. I mean, I guess it's not really a spoiler because those books aren't really.
They're not new.
No. But in that, like, the only reason he loses is because you remember Rook, the Nagri assassin dude in Rebels. He hides in the shadows.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
in the books, like, that's who kills him. Like, he turns on him.
Oh, okay, wow.
And murders him. So they never actually beat him in those books, and he was a cool character because he was so smart and so brilliant. Like, no one knew what to do with him. So I'm kind of hoping that's the Thrawn we end up with, who's just so in control and kind of so aware of everything going on that nobody really knows what to do or how to handle it. I think that would be fun.
Well, and part of his lore, since you've read it, you can tell me. Like, and I've seen Rebels, so you get a good portion of Thrawn between seasons 3 and 4. But his main thing is like his warfare knowledge. Like, he knows 4 steps ahead as to where whoever his enemy is like on step 1. So he's already meticulously planning whatever it is they're doing, and he's rarely ever wrong.
Yeah, his whole thing was like, if he understood like an enemy, that he could predict everything they would do, which is like he studies their art and all that stuff. Yeah, so I think that could be pretty fun if they really amp him up.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We need a bad guy like that, because the sequel trilogy, you have 3 bad guys that mount up into a half bad guy, and then because they don't have the same story, and then in Mandalorian they just keep recycling Moff Gideon the whole time, right? So like he just keeps on coming back and coming back.
Who's never really established as like a really, really dangerous villain, right? Like he's always up to something, and he caused some trouble, but like you never feel like this guy's really a problem,
right?
At least I never felt that way. I don't know.
No, he's not menacing, if anything. No, he's annoying but not menacing. So I think Thrawn can be that guy, which is what I'm hoping.
I hope so.
What was your other prediction, since we both kind of had the same one?
So mine's more of a shot in the dark. So you and I talked talking about Star Wars the other week.
Not on camera.
About how Filoni likes to like throw new stuff into his projects. Mm-hmm. And I actually saw an interview the other day where he was talking about the extended universe stuff that's now Legends.
Yeah.
And how he's like, it was never canon, but he still likes to pull stuff from it that people like and make it canon. So like the Night Sisters, who were previously just in the extended universe, and Thrawn, like he's pulled that stuff in. And then like he added the whole Mortis thing, right? With like this huge reveal of like these physical representations of the Force. And then we get the World Between Worlds and Rebels. Like he's like, I feel like he always likes to add these like big lore pieces into his projects. So trying to think about him introducing new things. So my guess is if they find Ezra, which now I don't even know if that'll be this season. That might be another season.
That's true.
I'm wondering if they're going to find, because there's people out in the unknown regions. So maybe he's like with like another Force group, like another group that uses the Force differently. And that's kind of who he's been residing with, trying to figure out.
Okay.
I don't know why he doesn't have a way back at this point. That'll be interesting to see, because technically Thrawn's from the unknown regions, right? Like the Chiss.
Right. They are from out there.
So there's people out there. It's not like there's nobody. So I'm curious as to why he hasn't returned. But I think that would be cool if we run into like a whole another group of Force users that has a very different connection than the Jedi.
I think that's a cool idea. That would now. Are you predicting? I'm not. Don't let me say something you're not saying. But do you think there's any chance that somehow he's found his way into the Cal Kestis group on that one secret planet at the end of Jedi Survivor? Because they have their own little planet out in the it's kind of the unknown regions, right?
Yeah. That would be. I don't know about that because they haven't really pulled anything in from the Jedi games
Not yet.
into the other media canon yet. So that would be.
Correct.
I feel like they'd probably introduce Cal before they went more subtle, but I don't know. I mean, who knows?
That would be cool.
That would be cool. That would be interesting.
No, I like that. I don't think that's too far fetched, really, because in the trailer we see Grand Admiral Thrawn. He's doing pretty well for himself. His ship is like gold plated. He's got his admiral garb on and everything. Last we see him, he's clearly lost and is being taken out there. So somehow he's found his way back around and is doing pretty well. So where does that put Ezra?
That's a good question. Because Thrawn's probably not too shaken by it. Because again, I mean, he's used to the unknown regions. His background is he's explored it quite a bit. So
I can't wait to see how they explore the unknown regions too, because we've never really explored it on screen outside of like going with the Wayfinders to Exegol, which is, I don't even know if Exegol counts as unknown regions. It just has its own little path within the known galaxy, right?
Yeah.
We haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I think it'll be, because I mean, again, I think Filoni tends to make really good use of the lore he has at his disposal. So I think there's going to be something cool that he presents out there. I don't know what, but
I like that. I'm almost 100% sure you're correct. You have
really?
to be,
Wow.
because I was watching Star Wars Sith, his YouTube channel. He did a breakdown today on the little teaser that Lucasfilm put out. That was like 7 minutes with the backstory of Ahsoka, and he was saying, we're going to get Hayden as Anakin, we're going to get Sabine, we're going to get the whole Rebels crew. We've got these new dark side users. Just naming all the awesome things we do know, and that's just the stuff we know through trailers. Like, imagine what we don't even know yet. So it's going to be something. It's going to be something big, I think.
That's the thing. I feel like the trailers they've shown a lot without showing a lot. So I feel like it's really hard to figure out where the show is actually going.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's probably a lot of the excitement building into it is we know all these cool things, but we know nothing all at the same time.
Right.
So my prediction is, I think it's a pretty safe one. I mean, it may not happen. I've been harping on it for quite a while, but I really want to see a Force Ghost Anakin. All the rumors and everything are, which I guess that's a want to see, but I think we will see it. And in some capacity, we see Anakin helping Ahsoka through some kind of struggle, helping her become an official Jedi master, whatever stage she needs to be at, because they've been hammering that master apprentice thing in all of the promotionals, and I think they're talking about Ahsoka and Sabine, but Ahsoka still hasn't finished her training yet. So I think we're going to see some form of Anakin having a redemption arc where his Force Ghost gets to finish this Ahsoka training, and Ahsoka gets the satisfaction of finishing her training with Anakin. And that's not going to be through flashbacks, I don't believe. It could be through the world between worlds, but I think we see a Force Ghost.
Yeah, I hope so. That would be cool, because I think we'll definitely see him in flashbacks.
Yeah.
But I do hope we also see him in a more present manner as Force Ghost. That would be, because we haven't, right? Like that would be the first time we interact with Anakin post Vader.
We've heard him, but we haven't seen him.
Yeah. Right. So that would be cool.
And Hayden is full-fledged back in. Like he's all exciting. And we are all in for it. He deserves it more than anyone in the Star Wars fandom probably. Yes. So I think we're going to see that, but maybe touching back on those flashbacks, did you see the latest TV spot where he is narrating it?
Yeah. Yep.
So that's going to be a Clone Wars flashback, I think, because he's talking about droids and a message to Ahsoka. So I'm hoping we see that, a flashback where he's like that.
I haven't checked it, but I was curious as to how much of that dialogue matches up with some of the stuff he told him in the Tales of the Jedi when he's talking to Ahsoka about why he's training her differently.
Yes, and
I haven't gone back and checked, though. I'm curious if they match up closely.
Yeah, one of my friends had said something along the lines of, that's the training, and you may even see Rex in that scene, too.
That'd be cool. I'd like to see Rex.
Yeah, and there's rumors that Tamora Morrison has already filmed for Rex in this. We don't know that. It's not confirmed, but if it's a flashback to that scene in Tales of the Jedi, that would be awesome.
That would be cool.
So predictions, quick roundup on it. We both think it's going to be a cliffhanger, not a happy ending maybe for the Rebels, or at least there's still going to be conflict to be had.
Yeah.
And then mine was Force Ghost Anakin, and yours was Dave throwing some kind of crazy lore out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which my first inkling is like another group of Force people.
Force people. Okay,
So we'll see.
Write it down. We will see. We'll revisit this in October or November, whenever this ends.
Yep.
All right. So moving into the next topic, we have what we want to see, not what we think we're going to see, but what we want to see.
Yep.
So what do you want to see?
So I have one thing I don't want to see.
Okay.
Or no, yeah, that I don't want to see that I'm pretty sure we are going to see is I'm not completely sold on the. I mean, it looks like it's going to happen, but I'm not sure how I feel about the whole Sabine being a Jedi thing.
Yeah.
I liked her character. I thought her character was great. Her arc was great with, kind of being outcast from her people for things she had done and kind of getting redemption from that. I didn't feel like she needed to be a Jedi. And it might be great. It might be awesome. It's just not. It wasn't the direction I saw it going. So, but
yeah.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
But
for all intents and purposes, it looks like that's where it's going. Unless it's like just a big trick that they're putting in all the trailers to try to fool people. I don't know.
Yeah, I've wondered the same thing because I don't need that in my Star Wars canon. Yeah. Like Sabine was enough on her own without being Force sensitive. And if she was not Force sensitive in Rebels with the Darksaber and hanging around 3 Jedi really with Ahsoka, I don't understand why she would all of a sudden be Force sensitive. Yeah. I don't know, but I'm okay with it. Like you said, I'm not not going to complain. But why do we need that?
Yeah, and it also made me wonder what the deal is with Jason Syndulla, right? Because you would think he might be Force sensitive and maybe would come into the picture. But although I did see where he was in like a Lego set that's being released.
Yeah, he was. He looks a little bit. He don't have green hair anymore.
That's about it.
He has brown hair.
Back to Rebels and like, he looks a little funny. We're gonna.
Green hair didn't work out. That makes me think, though, just from what you said, are they surely they've learned their lesson, because The Force Awakens, Finn was going to be a Jedi all the way through the trailers and everything, and they just absolutely hosed John Boyega. Just terrible treatment, and he has told the whole world how terrible that treatment was. So that's been rehashed.
And then they tried to make up for it in the last one, be like, he's kind of...
He does have the Force.
Yeah, right.
He gets to ride space horses.
We're not really going to pay attention to it, but it's there.
Yeah, so surely, I mean, Dave, I feel like, is probably no fan of how all that went down, which would make me think they're not going to use her, Sabine, as a prop for, she's Force sensitive, but then really it's Jason Syndulla that's Force sensitive.
Yeah.
Surely they wouldn't do that, but you got the son of a Jedi there.
I know. So I don't know. We'll see. So that was really something I don't want to see. So
okay, you don't want to see Sabine as a Jedi,
but I'm pretty sure it's happening.
Yes, embrace it.
No, one simple thing I want to see is I want to see the Ghost Crew back together.
Yes,
I want Zeb back in there. I'll even take Kallus.
Oh yes, Kallus. I forgot about him.
Get them back all together for a mission. I think that'd be fun.
That would be awesome. Like one last go around.
Which they Zeb randomly got thrown into Mandalorian. So maybe they're introducing him because he's going to pop up again. I hope so.
He has to pop up. He exists, so I feel like he has to pop up. And
those are some of the best character interactions. So I hope so. We'll see.
Yeah, I want to see Zeb and Ezra on screen again together. Because they're like they hate each other. They don't hate each other, but
yeah.
And then throw Chopper in the mix, and it's just gonna be awesome to see on TV.
I feel like you definitely need like a good like family dysfunctional fight with them. That would make it. That'd be fun to watch.
Yeah. So what do you think? I've heard some people say this. This is a little bit of a tangent, but some people are saying in like Mando season 3 when Zeb hops up that could be a jumping point for Ahsoka. So like he is there getting some intel on maybe where Thrawn is or where Ezra is, something along those lines, and that's going to be the jumping point for the series. I've heard that idea.
That's possible. I mean, because I kind of remember. I mean, I don't remember the details of that scene, but it does seem like he gets something he's got to go attend to.
Yeah, he gets up and leaves or something like that. And they're saying that could be the interaction that maybe we pick up the story from there, just so there's some continuity. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be fun with that.
Yeah. So, interesting to see, though, since he's in the New Republic and the New Republic's good for nothing. Is he now good for nothing as part of the New Republic? So
that's a good question.
See. So one thing I want to see, and it's really something I just do want to see, not like an exclusion, like one of yours was maybe something I don't want to see, but I want at least like a full 40 minutes of Ahsoka in the world between worlds. I want her like going through all the different portals, because The Mandalorian is doing a little bit of cleanup work for the sequel trilogy. I think we can all agree there. So I do think Dave, being true to Star Wars, will weave something in there that ties all 9 together. Like in Rebels, we hear Rey, we hear Finn, we hear them talking through Kylo Ren, I believe, too, through the world between worlds. So I don't think Dave's just going to stop linking the whole picture together. So I want a big episode with her in there. I want her seeing, prequel era, Empire. I want it all tied together.
That would be cool, because because with Rebels, you just got that tiny little glimpse of like this massive like reveal of like, hey, here's this place that connects all places and times, and we're gonna leave in like 15 minutes. So it would be cool to have more fleshed out view of what it is and where it goes, and it would be interesting. I would like that.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. Now, have you seen the rumors on the episode 3 flashback in the world between worlds, or whether it's a flashback? I don't want to like spoil the show if it turns out true for you.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Do you want me to just say it?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so there's been reports, and it's from reputable people who report things within Star Wars, that when she's in the world between worlds, she at a minimum looks into like one of the panes, that's in there, and sees a scenario where her and Obi-Wan are both fighting Anakin on Mustafar and trying to bring him back.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I don't know where that ties into the big picture of Thrawn and Rebels and everything else. So I don't know if it could be a full-blown fight or an episode with that. But the prevailing idea is that we're going to see her fighting Anakin. Interesting to see.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
They say he still would be Vader after the fight.
Yeah.
Like they're going to establish.
Like it would change the outcome.
Yeah, they're going to establish the canon, which similar to Rebels, like the things that were going to happen were still going to happen.
Yeah, some things couldn't be changed.
Yeah, which I hope when you're dealing with time travel, I don't want to open the time travel bug.
Yeah, I feel like hopefully they're smart enough not to start getting into the nonsense of time travel.
Yeah.
Where you start to just kind of have to scratch your head and start putting pieces together to try to make some sense out of it. So, but I don't think they will. Like you said, I think looking at the possibilities, how things could have happened differently, but not changing the outcome would be interesting.
So that's probably my biggest one, is I want a lot of world between worlds, and looking at like even the logo for this show, like it's the world between worlds stuff on it too.
Yeah. There's a lot. I've already said there's so much going on. I feel like with this show, like I don't know how they're gonna. I mean, I'm not doubting, but it just seems like a lot that they're gonna tie together and create like in 8 episodes.
Yeah,
something to tie together, right? Like these mercenary Jedi, this Thrawn thing, this
Find Ezra.
Past, Find Ezra, like all of these things that are going on.
Yeah.
It seems very ambitious. So
that's true. Yeah.
We'll see.
I think that means we're going to get an Ezra, like we're going to see him the same way we saw Luke in episode 7, like 37 seconds on the side of a cliff or something. That's probably how we see Ezra. So that takes that out, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see. Because at the same time, like they've kind of directly billed it as like, it's kind of like a Rebel sequel. So you would think it would lean more towards them finding him, but I don't know. I have no idea where the show's going. So
the jury is out. I'm excited for it because again, it's what we don't know.
And Rebels was like my favorite show, so I'm pretty pumped.
Oh yeah,
I got my shirt on.
Oh yeah.
So
that's
great.
The Night Squadron. So if anyone's interested in that type of shirt, which is super cool, check out the Night Squadron. That's a website. You could just Google it and find it. Pretty good prices too, and really great quality stuff.
Shirt's comfortable.
Yeah. So my second thing that I think we will see, I think we're going to see, so this is going to be like a broad catch-all between the two, but either we're going to see Mando Grogu, or we're going to have a Luke, Leia, or Han appearance. Because how weird would it be to have a show set in the New Republic timeline? You've got Ahsoka in it. She's in with Luke. We've seen her on his his Jedi temple planet in Book of Boba
That's true.
Fett. As far as New Republic goes, if you just read the books that are now canon, Leia is very involved in the New Republic. Han, they de-aged Harrison Ford for Indiana Jones. It looked fine. The movie didn't do fine, but it looked fine. And then no, I was waiting for it to come on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And then Chewbacca, you throw his name's Jonas, right? You throw Jonas in a big suit.
Yeah.
You're good to go. So I think it would be strange not to see them in something set in this timepiece.
That's good. Yeah. Plus, you're bringing in like Hera's obviously she's the money, right?
Bringing in the money.
That's what it is. But you would think so, because you got Hera, who's like right in the midst of the New Republic too. So
yeah.
You would think they have some interaction on some level, but I don't know.
We've already seen Mon Mothma too, right? She's in the trailer, so I feel like we're just a skip, jump, hop away from Leia being in it too, at a minimum.
I would like that. I don't know that I want to see Mando and Grogu, not because I don't like them, but just because I feel like cameos are happening too much a little bit.
Yes,
it's like, how are all these people crossing paths so often?
Yeah,
in this galaxy.
I would much rather see the big three on screen versus Mando and Grogu for sure.
Yeah, if it's just going to be like a quick cameo just for fun, I'd take something big, I guess, over.
Yeah,
that's just me.
If we did see them though, how much of them do you think we would see?
Not a lot. So I don't think they'd be in for like a whole episode or anything.
Right. You can't overpower.
It's not going to be like a Jack Black Lizzo cameo.
Oh man, I don't even want to get started on that.
I think it would be like a brief interaction type thing.
Yeah, because if you notice when Luke shows up, like Luke is a vacuum. I mean, everything draws into him, which is as it should be. Yeah. So on that episode in Book of Boba Fett, you'd forget that your whole story is supposed to be centered around Boba Fett because Luke Skywalker's there.
There was a lot in Book of Boba Fett that made you forget that the show was about Boba Fett.
Yeah,
it went all over the place.
It did. So I do think if they're in it, well, we're thinking like 10 minutes top, something like that, just here and there.
I can't imagine they'd pump a whole episode with them or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it'd be fun, though. That would be fun to see.
Be a lot of fun. What if that is the big reveal? Maybe it will be. I don't know that it will be, but I would like for it to be, if nothing else. That's why I added this to my wish list versus my predictions. I want to be nice and safe on the predictions.
One other thing I would love to see. So in the books, like Thrawn brought these little animals around with him.
Okay.
I don't know how to say it because no one ever has said it in anything canon. It's only been in writing.
Okay.
But it's like, they're like called Salamiri or something.
Okay.
And they project a bubble that negates the Force.
Okay.
And so that like gave him an edge over the Jedi in the New Republic. Like they couldn't. So I think it would be cool to see him actually do that like he did in the books, is because he's been bested by a Jedi at this point.
Okay.
So
you said like there's Salamiri?
It's like YSALAMIRI.
Oh yeah, there they are.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to get these.
They were a big
screen.
part of the books because it basically threw the Jedi off because they'd get in, if they were near him, like they could no longer connect with the Force. I think that would be a cool thing.
This is super cool.
So I think that would be fun. He did it in the books. It'd be fun to see him adapt and do it now since he's already been beaten by a Jedi. So
yeah,
I was just thinking about that earlier. That'd be fun.
So I'm gonna show this. Someone's like drew their own little type of like whatever little, this is.
Sloth monkey things, aren't they?
Yeah. So this thing here. This is just a little concept of one.
Yeah.
So yeah, would definitely be cool to see there. That would be awesome because how crazy would it be though?
We've never seen the Jedi not be able to use the Force in any of the media. So I feel like I don't know. It's
that's how they're going to tie Sabine in.
So.
Sabine's not Force sensitive. It's the misdirect. You just solved the whole show. Sabine's not Force sensitive. Ahsoka and Ezra can't do anything, but Sabine has been trained in all the things a Jedi needs, minus the Force, so she can beat him. I'm
pretty sure that's 100% wrong, but hey, if it's right, then we're pretty smart.
Yeah, you better believe I'm going to be plastering this everywhere. If that's just a random thought that turns out to be the whole crux of the show.
Oh man,
that's awesome.
Yeah. There you go.
Wow.
Again, I have no idea how to say that thing because I've literally never heard it spoken by anybody or anything official. It's literally only been in writing. So
We need it to happen on screen just so we know what it says.
I know how to say it.
I'll rent the audio
maybe
book.
somebody can correct me on that. Maybe somebody somewhere knows how to pronounce it. Someone smarter than me.
Anybody in the comments that made it this far, let us know how you actually spell the Yasalamary, or is the Y silent? Let us know what it is. We're both from the South, so we know half English anyways. We're working with a limited set of skills here. So let us know how you say that.
Oh, good.
Anything else about this? Because this will be the last word we have before we watch it. Next week,
which is crazy. Yeah. We get that nice 2-episode premiere,
which
is just going to make all the other Wednesday nights seem so short.
Yes.
I don't know. Like I said, like I could probably come up with like 10 more predictions just because I really can't hammer down what in the world is going on with this show other than who it's about and some general things. So I'm really excited.
That's where I'm at. Yeah, I can't wait for it. So really quickly, what's your viewing plan for next Wednesday? Are you going to watch it like, I guess at nighttime once you get your kids down?
Yeah. Next week will be a little busy. I'm a teacher, so we start back with kids next week. So
gotcha.
It'll be coming home, dinner, getting the kids to bed, and so my wife and I will watch it together at some point that evening. So
and then 90 minutes of Ahsoka.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I've never done this before. I'm not used to having. I'm gonna have to like sit in front of it with a notebook and like jot.
Right. Yeah. So my viewing, typically what we do, my wife is a teacher, and so she has to be at work pretty early, and we would watch like one episode before work. We get up at 5 and watch it, but it's a 2-episode premiere, so there's zero chance we're getting up at 4 to watch these two. So I'm thinking it's going to be a late Wednesday night.
I'm really impressed that she gets up with you to do that.
For whatever reason, she puts up with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's for Grogu. I don't think she would do it for Ahsoka.
She just wants to see Grogu.
So that brings us to episode 2. So we are going to watch Ahsoka next Wednesday. We are going to film our next episode on Thursday night, and then I'm up in the air on whether it will be a Friday release of the podcast or a Saturday. You will either get it on Friday morning or Saturday morning, episode 2 of the Force with Friends podcast, and we will be breaking down episodes 1 and 2 of Ahsoka. One last plug here before we go. I'm going to Galaxy's Edge this upcoming weekend for my birthday, so when a person turns 30, they should always go build a lightsaber. So I'm building my second lightsaber, so definitely be on the lookout on my channel for some Galaxy's Edge content, as well as the lightsaber. I'll do a review of it once I get home with it. You know, it won't be an unboxing, but I will show it off. So a lot of Galaxy's Edge content coming up over the next week or two. All right, so that will conclude our time together. Thank you for joining in to the inaugural episode of the Force with Friends podcast. We will see you next time. May the Force be with you.